This is my setup for cutting the back of my couch. I have four of these sheets of plywood that I had pre-cut when I bought it. And now what I'm doing is I'm making that pattern that I made in the other video. I'm just cutting that corner off. So I had the plywood cut to the length and width of that. I'm just clamping them together. I had a longer piece of plywood. I couldn't get the whole pattern out of one piece of wood, so I had this piece left over. So I have to trim it a little bit there. I just leveled it up. It's a little out there. It's not perfectly square. So what I'm going to do is I got these clamped together. I'm screwing that down because that's scrap. And then I'm going to clamp it. Use all the clamps that I have. And then I'm just going to go around and sand that even. And I got 4 of those. That's going to be the back support for the backrest on my couch. And then I have another board that screws on there where my back sits, and I'll show you that when I get ready to put it in. Here's my setup for cutting this line. I have my square clamped down to there, and my clamp wouldn't reach, so I just put that piece of wood on there so it presses down and it's pretty solid there. I just came 4.5 over forward from the blade to here. I usually try to go on this side, but I don't have anywhere to clamp, so I kind of got to do it backwards of what I normally do. So I'm going to cut that, and then I'm going to trim that off, and then I'm going to sand all the edges down. And this is why I always go on that side. This is not going to work because of that motor. And I thought about the motor, that's why I use that flat. But I normally use like a piece of wood or a level or something. But I didn't think about when I clamp that piece of wood right there down, it's going to hit that motor. So I'm going to have to figure something else out here, how to clamp this down. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have to cut this off. I'm going to have to cut this extra part off. And I'm just going to have to come in from this way, and I'm going to have to reset this so I can go like that. So it'll be right there. I think that might work. I love this little tool here. It's if you've never seen one of these, it's an oscillator, I think is what it's called. That blade basically just goes like that really quick, and you can turn it. And it's also got a straight blade. You can do like plunge cuts and stuff. And I got the corded one, but you can get these in battery powered too. It's nice for getting in little tight spots, and I've seen them used a lot for like maybe like molding or something around a wall. I'm not going to edit any of the mistakes I make out. I'll show them to you here because that's how we all learn. So I made that mistake I really just a setup mistake. It wasn't nothing major, but that motor was going to hit that. So I got that cut off, got that set up, and I'm about to use my circular saw to cut that corner off right there. So there it is, cut off. That come out pretty good. I'm doing this on a trash can, so I had to put a counterweight in there. It was actually pretty solid though. I checked it, tried to tip it over before I started because I didn't want to deal with that in the middle of cutting. So now I'm just going to cut, even that up. And then I'm just going to go, I mean that side's, I'm going to sand the edges, but that's all got it pretty even, so just have to sand that a little bit, even it up. That's just the way they cut it. I had all these pre-cut at Lowe's, and this piece on the bottom's the one I had laying around, but these top pieces, they're not like perfect. I mean, they're close enough for rough carpentry, but I'm putting them all, I want them all exactly the same, so that's why I clamped them together, and I'm going to sand them down and make them exactly the same. Within an 1/8 inch anyway. I mean, it's already within an 1/8 inch. It's just not really perfectly square. I just squared it on the important side, which is right there where it's going to meet the bed, and right there where it's going to meet the floor. This is the back. This is just going to be facing towards the back of the van. If it's not perfect, that's fine. But where it meets up to other pieces of wood, and that I wanted that as where my back's going to be, because I got another piece of wood that's going to meet up right there too. I'm putting this first piece of this back in. I have it squared up right there. I got it both ways. I'm going to pocket hole probably just one of those in, one of each. I got those right there, 2, and then I got one there. I'm only going to do one for now because I'm going to have to take this back out. I'm going to just secure it in there temporarily, and then right there I got to make a pattern. I'm making a pattern on that side just so it touches the wall, and then I could screw into all those furring strips, and that will just secure that further from moving around. And then my my big piece of plywood that's going to go all the way across the back there, we'll go over that. Here's my pattern for that fill-in piece, and that's just going to give it a little extra strength for, because this is like that now. It's just going to be, right now it's just held on down there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it, and then I'm going to screw it here, and then I'm going to screw it up the side of here into those furring strips. Here's a look at my couch. Got everything put in. Got the back put in. Radiused on the wall. And now I'll go around back and I'll show you what I'm doing back there. I like how this looks from the back. It just looks like a regular work truck with shelves for tools or whatever. But what I'm doing now is I'm putting these two, I got my toolbox centered in there, and I'm going to space it out. I got some 3/4, some of that leftover furring strip in there. That one I just got it butted right up against it. So I just got these 2 center ones to put in. I've already put that one in. I don't think I showed that on the other side of this. There's a spacer. I had to make a pattern for it because that offsets out from the wall. And back here I was trying to figure out, it's kind of a wasted space. I think that's where I'm going to put my extension cord for my shore power, because there's not a lot of room. That'd be perfect for that. I got these corner brackets that I'm going to screw it down and fasten in each corner of the toolbox to hold that. I got that notched out around my jack. and I still got to put a piece across, all the way across the top here. It's gonna be a flat piece that goes all the way. I'm ready to put this flat piece on the top, and the way I'm doing that is I got this, I just call it a story pole, and I just cut it just to fit in there. Doesn't really matter how long it is, just I just made it close. These, I don't know if you've never heard of a story pole before. That's usually used to, like, if you have something that's like a lot of things that are the same height or the same length, you can make a thing at a certain length and then just, instead of measuring. The reason I'm doing that, it's easier. It's easier just to measure that length than try to fold a tape measure back in there and try to, you know, get it close. So, like for example here, I'm just measuring it like that. It's easier than trying to go from the end and then fold it around because it's up against the wall. So it doesn't matter what this length is. I'm just measuring that, and I measured it that it's a 1/2 inch. It needs to be a 1/2 inch longer. So then I'll just take this over there to my piece of wood, lay it on there, make it a 1/2 inch longer on the front end, and then I just bring this back to the back here, flush it up with that on both sides, and then pull it to one end, measure, and it's basically the same length, but I'm going to add like a 1/16 to it, and I'll do that on the front and back, and then just connect the lines, and then that's how I'll get the length and the radius and all that for my piece. Here's what my finished couch looks with the foam on. I have this, I'm not sure if I'm going to use it, but I have this bed cover thing that zips over on the bottom there. It's kind of like a waterproof plastic thing. And then the green foam is what's inside that. I'm just not sure if I want to use that. For one, it's too big for it. It's for a twin, so that's why it's all wrinkly, and I'd have to tuck it under and do all that. But the main thing I'm wondering is if it's going to trap moisture inside. I'm wondering if I should just leave it like that top one, and then just every time I do laundry, just pull it out, air it out, check behind it for mold or whatever. So I got 2 of those white things, and I just haven't put it on that one. So I'm going to go get my bedding and put on here, make this bed up, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Here it is with the blankets and the pillows on it. And I also have a MS military sleep system sleeping bag. I didn't put it on there, but I have that I can use when it gets really cold. And I'm going to fold it up. I'm going to lift the bed up right now and show you how that works. So for right now, this just picks up like this. For right now, I have this piece of wood that I just stick right there like that, and then I can get all my stuff here. This is a problem I was having. You see that? Yeah. My mattress is one piece, so it only folds up from here to here. So my mattress kind of, when I fold it up, it kind of bows over, and I was thinking about cutting it in 3 pieces, but I think that works fine. I'm just gonna leave it like it is. And I possibly might cut this and put a hinge or something where I can just pull it up and maybe something to catch it there. But That's how that works, and then I just kind of have to push it back down. And so that works out good. So there's the finished bed. Thanks for watching.